points to the board.
Look at the Belmont. Belmont moves to the left. They're already up by 7 points. A little step there, a little chip ahead. Darren's playing 7, but what individual didn't get knocked on there? It's into the hands. Hey, we're going to hand out some trophies today at the USA Club Sevens Championship. We've got great games on tap for you. 2 fields. Make sure you join on the ones you want. This one's going to be Atlanta versus Little Rock. I'm going to turn this over to Liz Entwistle for play-by-play.
Good morning, John. Good morning, rugby fans. We are here at the gorgeous Wisconsin Rugby Complex in Cottage Grove, Wisconsin. The Little Rock Stormers out of Little Rock, Arkansas, taking on Atlanta 2.0. Both teams in dark jerseys. This is going to be Atlanta going from right to left across your screen. Keita Sutton with the ball in hand, moving the ball around the outside. Atlanta coming out of Pool A as the number 3 seed. That was the pool as well, with Boston and Cincinnati hard luck losers in 2 of their games. 15-12 to Boston, 17-12 to Cincinnati. They had a 28-0 victory in their 3rd game of the bracket. And here we'll get our first look at the scrum.
This is going to be an interesting game. Both these teams very lucky, missed out. Close scores, great programs in here on a Sunday morning looking to take the bowl championship. Very important to them for seeding. Both these teams know about this. And, yeah, these dark jerseys are going to be interesting, Liz.
Yes, that's Madison Ronquetto for Little Rock. Again, Little Rock going from left to right across your screen. A team that filled in the tournament. There were a few spots vacated due to Women's Premier League action. So they called on Little Rock, called on this storied program. We get a look across a few of their players. Number 3, Brittany Garner. I noticed number 7, Abby Vestal. She's a player that was on that 2015 ARPTC championship team. So everything to play for, but Little Rock was planning on a social summer.
They've got a little more than they bargained for here, but they're playing some good rugby. Beautiful drone shot of that field. This just gives us such an extra view of what's going on.
Aquila Guzman out of Kennesaw State. Some defensive pressure from the Little Rock scrum half, and this is going to set them up well, about 10 meters from the goal line. Great work on that defensive scrum by Little Rock.
Just a little defensive error there from the team. Just slipped forward, probably a little wet grass in the morning. They're going to dry it up for the teams later today. Always tough, but great attacking position here for Little Rock.
So what a view. We see the steepness of their backs setting up about 10 meters back, 5 meters of width. Again, a shot there of number 13. That's Jen Johnson. Little Rock going around towards the weak side of the field. But again, some ball handling errors. Jitters, first game of the day. 3 games yesterday. Little Rock looking to settle their composure, and this gives the ball back to Atlanta, a team with plenty of wheels and plenty of options.
Jen Johnson there with the national team of the Philippines playing here in beautiful Madison, Wisconsin. Just let that ball slip forward. 1 to each team, but, you know, this is no time to get nerves and jitters. These are big games going on to the medal rounds. So important.
So look at this pressure again from Madison Ronquetto. Little Rock looking for the turnover. We see the ball placement, a player over the ball, but still being playable by a referee. So a clean turnover that we hear. Ronquetto with the ball in hand for Little Rock, and Little Rock threatening about 7 meters from the goal line. Playing the possession game, there's Jen Johnson. She commutes from Memphis to Little Rock to play with the Stormers program. We see a little bit of the show and go towards the outside. Adrian Yoder, supported by Bryn Hardman. And look at this defensive counter pressure coming from Atlanta. And great awareness, hands up, pressure off. Abby Vestal with the ball in hand. Abby Vestal is a threat. And Abby Vestal goes over the line. A quick hello to her folks. Got to know them at the ARPTC. What a joy seeing Abby go over and adding 5 to the Little Rock score sheet.
Vestal, the University of Grad, just a great try there. You saw the line between 2 of those players right here. Ball comes up, gets into the hands of Vestal. She looks to the outside, spots the inside, sees she's going to make it across the line, and nobody's going to stop her from there. Emmy Harris was close, but no cigar right over the line. Good try, Vestal.
Vestal was a crossover to the game of rugby, coming from basketball and coming from a lot of time in the weight room. We'll see what she can do with the conversion attempt ahead. Step over, a step up, and the ball falls short. Score is going to remain 5-0.
Good first bit of pressure there from Little Rock. You spent enough time in the other team's end. You have to get points out of it. So that was wonderful for them. They're going to kick off right now. We'll see what Atlanta's answer is here. They need to get some points on the board. Is this time? It's about halfway through this half. So, still plenty of time. Opportunity to really get there, shake off that rust and put some points on the board.
Absolutely. This is an Atlanta 2.0 team. So some players that have spent some time with the Harlequins, a little bit of a summer sevens focus. Keep an eye on their number 9, Akila Guzman. Goose played her college rugby at Kennesaw State. Meg Steffes in the number 13 jersey is putting the hard work in the gym. Keita Sutton, always a threat in the number 4. She's also a player that will distribute to other finishers and do the hard yards. Right now, we see this defensive pressure from Little Rock paying off again. This is what set up their first try. And look at this, inside of the 22. They do concede the penalty to Atlanta. We'll have to see what Atlanta does for their exit.
Hands in call against Little Rock there. Just a little over anxious when they got to that, but good pressure defense. You see it coming up right now is really making things tough for Atlanta, as is that knock-on.
So mentioning again that Little Rock was a team that was just committed to playing social summer sevens. They came off D2 playoff runs and pretty deep. So using some of those same principles of play, coming up connected on defense, launching their lines, putting the pressure on. This time just 7 meters from the goal line. What a view again of this scrum. Next Level Rugby bringing you all the shots. Ryan Ginty, our producer, doing excellent work. We see the ball quickly in and out in the hands of Ronquetto, moving again towards that far sideline. That's where Vestal scored the try earlier. Defensive pressure from Atlanta creates the knock-on scrum to Atlanta.
Substitution. Black 3, excellent, thank you. It's okay, boom.
Referee just rewarding the players right there for good play, according to her. So very happy with what's going on here right now. Just a little stop and start game here.
Yes.
But another
Time on. Excuse me. Here we are.
opportunity all deep in their end for Atlanta.
So we saw Brittany Garner come off for Little Rock, and it looks like Alicia Ashley coming on in the number 12 jersey. Again, this view towards the near side. So we see the set. Both teams very flat, very shallow. Atlanta moving the ball around to the outside. There is some space to run. We see a little bit of these wheels turning on, getting faster. Janae Peacock with the ball in hand. Good coverage coming across by Yoder. Yoder makes a tackle to touch, and this is going to be a line out for Memphis. Line out not formed. It requires 2 players from each team for a line out to be set. We saw Jen Johnson looking to go quick, but then deciding to slow down the pace. We are here in the final seconds of play, here in the first half of the first of our bowl quarterfinals.
Thank you.
Peacock, wonderful job there, heading down the sideline, really just taking on the space, not afraid of using that touch line as, just something that she can work her way up. But great defense by Little Rock, get back there and just push her over the line. Now they have the line out.
See Ronquetto using a bit of a transfer ball, trying to get wide. A quick tap taken here by Little Rock, looking to get one more before the end of the half, coming from about 60 meters deep in their own territory. Nice little offload. Bryn Hardiman, the recipient there in the 16 jersey. But now trading penalties back. Atlanta, Akila Guzman is always going to look to go quick. The ball slowed down a bit by Little Rock, so whether it was tactical or happenstance, this is a player with so many different tricks.
At sevens breakdowns, it's just such a, just speed to the ball. Whoever gets there first offensively or defensively can kind of draw that penalty from the other team. This time, Atlanta wins it out. They're going to have the ball, but just quick speed of mind there from Goose Guzman.
So movement towards the outside. This is Caitlin Frischia, number 6 jersey. Caitlin on this near sideline with the stiff arm on. Jen Johnson wins the first battle. Jen Johnson, again, gets the wrap. The buddy tackle, great coverage coming over by Bryn Hardman. Atlanta looking to reset. Pressure again out of Jen Johnson. She is everywhere on the field, a pest in the best possible way. Atlanta with space towards the outside. We saw it go from Goose out into the hands of Reed Keita. And now, Janae Peacock. Peacock with great efforts earlier in the half. She is fighting to keep her feet, fighting to keep that ball alive. Knees on the ground. The tackle is made, but the tackle is not released. We must roll away. So Akila Guzman, ball in hand, is going to have an opportunity. And we are here going into the 9th minute of this first half of play.
Great work by Janae Peacock there. Couldn't find a way around. Had huge power on the side. Took 3 people with her. When she finally went to the ground on the tackle, she had a player trapped with her, and that's a player that was penalized. Really not much she could do, but she was in the wrong place. That just comes from the power of Peacock.
Back in action here, Fischia towards the outside. We see the soft sub line. Again, the stiff arm working against Johnson, but Johnson doing enough to slow her down. Again with the buddy tackle, so deja vu from just a moment before. Atlanta Redistributing, we see this defensive wall by Little Rock. Keita Sutton taking the contact, gets the behind the back pass. Peacock, supported by Guzman. And Atlanta driving their way downfield. Atlanta taking the positive space and a punishing tackle here. Little Rock coming up hard. Adrian Yoder, Little Rock with the steal. Alicia Ashley towards the outside. She's got Goose coming over, making the cover tackle, taking to touch. 10 minutes in. John Broker, I think we're finally at halftime.
We are finally at halftime, but what a hit.
We will be back with the second half of action in the first of these bowl quarterfinals in just a moment. Liz Entwistle and John Broker with Next Level Rugby.
Yes, that's halftime. Thank you.
Since 1979, we've been searching for perfection. We've been thinking, sketching, and designing. We've been building, assembling, and strengthening.
All have to come up with it so we can take advantage of those coaches, yes? Yes, coaches. Okay? Are you okay?
Good, just a little cut.
Okay, a little cut.
I'm good.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Artificial. Artificial cut.
Hey, let's keep it going.
Let's do this, ladies.
Hey, don't put pressure on ourselves.
That's
right.
right. Yeah.
If it's not there, then we run all around them. All right.
Yes.
Easy, we're receiving.
Very good.
Stormers on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Stormers!
Yes.
Keep it up, ladies.
Thank you.
Hey, Amy, on this side.
Macy's coming on.
We are back with the second half. Just moments away, we saw the halftime speech from Little Rock coach Kate Turpin, a former USA Eagle herself. Skilled, experienced direction from the coaches. It was just a one-try game here between Little Rock and Atlanta. The winner of this bowl quarterfinal will move on into the bowl semifinal later this afternoon. We start the morning back to back to back with bowl quarterfinals, cup quarterfinals, and then move into the Shield Bowl plate and cup semifinals. A full day of rugby ahead. But first, the second half here for Atlanta and Little Rock. John, any points stand out for you from that first half?
A little bit of a stalemate there. I thought Atlanta started to do some good things towards the end of the half. Didn't get themselves in the scoreboard, but really starting to push this Little Rock team. So we'll see if they can continue that in the second half.
So back in the action, Little Rock going from right to left across your screen. We saw Ronquetto movement towards the outside of the field. Some space to run here for Little Rock. Atlanta gave them the edge and then some. Excellent ball movement transferring to space. We see Adrian Yoder on the trot. And look at this coming across the field. That is Janae Peacock for Atlanta on the chase. If she had a couple more steps, she may have prevented the try. What speed from Atlanta. What great field vision and field awareness. An excellent start to the half with Yoder going over the line for the Stormers.
Yeah, I just want to say let's keep an eye on this Atlanta team. Little Rock goes right at it. You see the ball get out to Yoder there, and they just get around the corner, and there's not going to be stopped. Good work by Peacock there, but it just wasn't going to happen. Just pin the ears back, really good, looking strong, right down the field. Won her, and eventually it touches that one down.
An excellent show of 7 solid principles of play, letting the ball doing the work, attacking the space, getting around the outside. Vestal on the conversion attempt, wide to the right. We get one more play.
Another look at
this one, John.
See the ball come out, just looks inside, pins the player, gets it around to Yoder. Yoder's going to get around the corner. You can see the winger there is just at some point saying, I'm not going to make this one. And despite the good work by Peacock here, try to cut off that lane, make the kick a little harder, able to put it down was Adrian Yoder.
So Little Rock with the restart split 3 to the right, 3 to the left, a 3-4 configuration here by Atlanta. Keita Sutton looking for the ball. Little Rock able to recover. They've got the pressure on again. Ronquetto with the ball in. And looking to that space outside again, tangled up. Caitlin Frichier getting in on the action for Atlanta, able to disrupt. We see Abby Vestal diving for the ball.
First playing on the ground, second playing on the ground. First penalty, back.
Jen Johnson looking to take the quick tap. Now checking that her team is resettled.
Let's decide. Scrum chosen.
That breakdown area just diving right in. A little bit of trouble coming from them. And Little Rock is going to take the scrum here.
We saw this
Good
tactic
attacking
out of the
position.
Chicago Lions women yesterday. Choosing scrums on every single penalty is something that they've done the entire Midwest season. So Little Rock with space to attack, deep and steep with their first receiver, Ronquetto with the put in.
Yep, that was out.
The pressure from Goose, well read by the Atlanta scrum half. Tangled up under pressure. And we saw the quick break from the forwards. Jen Johnson with the carry. There's Yoder. Outside of her, Hardiman.
Knock on, knock on.
The defensive pressure for Atlanta paying off.
Good work, pressure from both teams. You see just a little bit of defensive pressure making it hard for these teams to get going and forcing these mistakes. So Atlanta this time down 2 tries right now. Really going to need to pull something out in these next 4 minutes. But they certainly have the players to do it, and it has to start right here with Goose.
It's been such a good scrum half battle here defensively. Neither team able to get much from their attacking platforms from the scrum because of this pressure. Here we go again. Under pressure is Atlanta. Amanda Lamb recovering the ball. Another punishing tackle. Abby Vestal sits Atlanta back. That ball bouncing backwards. So about 20 meters of extra space now for Atlanta to make up to get to the gain line. Atlanta towards the outside, support towards the inside. A little bit of a lollipop pass there to Goose, and Goose is going. The double tackles, again, so successful for Atlanta, but another penalty. We've seen about 3 or 4. This referee looking for the quick release. Lamb with the ball in hand. Lamb targets towards the outside. Skip pass over Sutton into the hands of Marley Seifert. Ronquetto with the tackle. Keita Sutton corrals the ball. And again, some disjoint play here from Atlanta. The pressure from Little Rock coming up. Where is the space on the field? Lamb to Sutton. Has Frischia on the outside. Atlanta stacked towards this far sideline. Frischia breaks the first tackle. Again, this Frischia-Johnson battle. Johnson does enough to slow her down. Atlanta to go. This near sideline should be open. Goose, I believe, is the last defender on the field. We see the cutback inside by Little Rock, with Little Rock realigning. And here is some space to run again. And look at this chase. Yoder once again with the breakaway. Goose corralling the inside, trying to prevent that easy conversion. Yoder looking to go the distance. We don't see this engagement by Goose at all. So this gives Yoder the straight line ahead and another 5 points for Yoder.
This Little Rock team is just punishing any mistakes. You saw, like you said, disjointed play there. A bunch of passes just not going to hand, going to the ground. It really drew the defense over for Little Rock to be able to cover the Atlanta players. Then as soon as they get a turnover, they got some players wide. And again, you have Yoder here. Just get her the ball, get her a little space. She's going to find her way around and just steps in, steps out, finds some defenders, tucks the ball, and off she goes. No worries here for Yoder.
No worries indeed. That 10-minute first half really taking it out of some of these players. Extra depth that they have to dig into. We've got about a minute to play here in the second half. Again, bearing in mind that these teams all played multiple games yesterday. Atlanta should be a little bit fresher with that third game bye. We saw 3 games out of Little Rock, really able to work out their niggles. But look at this again, John, setting up this try.
Just stepping in, stepping out. She had her own teammate there. She's going to fake her out as well. But she came around the other side, and she just get across 50-meter line there. She was confident she was going to make it. And all Guzman could do was just cut off some space for the kick.
Back in action, Atlanta deep inside of their own territory. Lamb. And for space towards the outside with Rhea Cox. See Jen Johnson in defense, looking for the challenge. May have been in from the side. A penalty nonetheless. Atlanta Lamb to Frisia. Frisia pointing to her teammate, directing where she wants traffic to go. She's going to take the traffic up the guts and into them. Atlanta, space towards this near sideline. Goose.
Backwards.
Again, just missing on that last pass, and this is where Little Rock has been so good with turnovers and transitions.
Back 10.
Another penalty, though, against Little Rock, giving Atlanta a chance. We've got about 5 seconds left to play here on the game clock. Lamb. He's got Frisia calling for the ball, running the strike line. This time we see the solid contact made by Jen Johnson.
Clean steal.
Abby Vestal gets her hands on the ball. We hear our referee direction, a clean steal. Johnson finds the support. Little Rock still keeping their feet. And this Little Rock number 4, apologies, no name. Number 4 with
Whoever
the 5
she
points,
is.
and Little Rock going to close the scoring.
Whoever she is, wonderful. Good try there on the outside. Little Rock just able to find the spaces and get it to people in the right areas
Atlanta, if you would,
while
thank
they're
you.
scoring these tries. Good work, Little Rock. Take a look at it here.
Atlanta, if you would, in front of the
Side
22. Thank you
gets
very
around
much.
one, able to get out of that shirt tackle. Sees the next person, just pushes her off and skips by a third.
So Vestal with 1